Okay, let's run the simulation, but before that, let's go ahead and set this as output. Okay, so range name, so let's say seats or something. All right, now let's go to settings, and we want 10,000 here, enabled, sampling, fixed one. Okay, then we need to change number of simulations to 11, and then run simulate. All right, so let's close that. Let's set up the mean revenue, so there'll be risk mean, right? Risk mean of F6. Okay, so we're going to have to copy this down here. So F6 should be made into absolute reference for the first simulation. All right, so now let's change the format to currency. We don't need decimal places. So, and then let's do risk standard STD DEV. Okay, again for the revenue, and make that absolute reference. Okay, for simulation 1. All right. Now mean empty, so risk mean of empty seats. Okay, F4 for simulation 1. And then risk STDEV of empty seats, again F4, simulation number 1. Okay, so let's keep 2 decimal places here, and let's make that currency because it is for revenue. We don't need decimal places, so let's go ahead and copy that. Okay, so this is the situation, and you can see that the mean revenue keeps going up as we reserve more seats, and then it starts to go down, and that starts to occur around 34. So let's go ahead and plot this. Okay, and we want to compare the mean and the standard deviation, okay, as we start putting aside more and more seats to Y class. So go to insert and scatter plot that one. Okay, and the reason why this looks really crazy is because these numbers are a lot larger than that, so we really need to change the scale. So make that secondary scale. So no, so the standard deviation will have a separate scale than the revenue. Okay, and of course, again, there is a whole lot of white space here. That's because our x-axis should go really from 30 to 40. So um, okay, axis options will go from 30 to 40. Okay, and we can change that to 1. So you'll have increments of 1. The chart title is airline pricing model. Okay, revenue mean revenue and standard deviation, and we'll make the subtitle smaller, and axis title, so here number of reserved seats. Then this one is standard deviation, and this one is mean revenue. Okay. And you can see that 34, a couple of things about this graph. Okay, so the expected revenue peaks at 34. Okay, then the standard deviation, as you increase the number of seats reserved, it steadily goes up. So this additional revenue at 34 comes with a price tag in terms of added risk, which comes from increased standard deviation. Okay, and we can do a similar graph for seats. Okay, insert. Okay, and here we don't need to have a separate secondary axis because the numbers are about the same for both. All we have to do is to format this a little bit. We don't need this to be starting from 0, so we need 30 to 41 in increments of 1. Okay, and this can go from 8 to 16, I guess, and the number, we don't need decimal places there in the axis. Okay, so once again the mean empty keeps increasing naturally because you're now setting aside more seats for Y class, so the odds are you're going to have more left behind seats not sold. So airline pricing model, seats empty. All right, and well, we need reserved seats here, number of reserved seats, and we really don't need an axis there. Okay, and interestingly, the standard deviation of seats left unsold, it's relatively constant. There's a slight decline, but it's more or less the same. It doesn't change. But of course, the mean number of seats left empty steadily goes up.